So let's talk about your blue liner in Buffalo, Bowen Byram. I mean, what's happening? There's all kinds of trade talk, and they're going to arbitration, which doesn't really, I guess, take away the trade talk because maybe they don't like what the arbitrator says. What do you think happens?
Well, here's an interesting situation because I think that, again, if you were to deal from a position of power, it would have been 2 weeks ago, right, at the draft. Maybe you acquire a player, maybe it's a pick from that draft, maybe you flip that around. The Sabres already had moved J.J. Peterka to Utah, so I think that was the time. Right now, so Bo Byram decided not to go to arbitration because I believe he wanted the leverage of an offer sheet in his back pocket, and then yesterday by 5 p.m., the Sabres had to decide if they were going to take him to arbitration. The team elected arbitration, which they did. So now it guarantees Bo Byram will either be signed with the Sabres, signed with a different team, or traded or whatnot, but he will be in uniform game one somewhere. And I think that's good for the Sabres because, number one, if Byram is signed, I think you got a very good blue line. With Dahlin, Byram, Power, they acquired Kesselring, they acquired Connor Timmins to play, third pair with Samuelson. I think with Byram, their blue line would be really, really strong. If you don't have Bo Byram, where do you trade him and what do you get in return? That is the big question. And I don't know right now that the best return is out there. I think 2 weeks ago it would have been there if, there was, some good options on the table. But they really like Bo Byram, and he played really well with Rasmus Dahlin last year. So why force something if you don't have to? Right now, you know that at worst, Bo Byram is signed to a 1-year deal in arbitration and will be there game one. So that's the worst case scenario, and that's not a bad thing for the Sabres.
You got Dahlin at 11, Owen Power at 8.3. I got to believe that Byram is somewhere in between. Would that make sense?
No, I don't think so. Byram had like 38 points last year, I think, or 7 goals, or he doesn't play power play. I think when you go to an arbitrator and you're going to show all the numbers, the ice time and everything, I believe it probably will slot in between 6 and 7. That's kind of like what I think. A lot of the analytics projection were saying a 1-year deal somewhere in the 5.5 to 6, but I think it may be more than that. Now, if you go long term, you're probably pushing closer to $8 million, and I think that's where the holdup is because the Sabres have Dahlin at 11 and Power at 8.5. So Bo Byram is saying, do I have the ability to continue to grow in Buffalo because I don't have a spot on the power play. Those are the two, studs. So I think that's maybe where the holdup is. But I think Byram on a 1-year deal somewhere between like $6.5 and $7 million would probably be the tops I think you could get.